Good evening and welcome to Shadows of London, a World of Darkness one-shot set in London, England in 2001. With me tonight,
Mitch playing Blake Simmons of Clan Average Mortal.
Lane playing Glass of Another Average Mortal.
Philip playing Stuart, another average mortal who's probably going to get killed.
Bex playing Joe, possibly a below average mortal, remains to be seen.
So, for those of you who are watching the Blood on the Thameses mid-season one-shot, we're going to be playing with 4 lovely mortals in the world of Blood on the Thames and Blood on the Thameses in the year 2001 in the city of London. And these have been like a few restless nights. Lately, there's been a lot of movement. The streets have been a little safer of late. There have been incidents, some arson in some places, breaking and enterings, things like that. But you're Londoners, so you go about, or you're living in London, so you go about your lives in a normal way. So we're gonna start with Blake. You have been trying to reach your online contacts in your little place where you have this access to a BBS and the internet, and you're going through the back doors and channels, but you have not heard from her, and it's starting to become a little uncomfortable. You do remember that when you were doing some of the investigations she has asked for you, especially with incidents around a McDonald's and things like that, she was giving you good enough leads for you to try and uncover certain truths that other people want to hide. But so far, Sexy Pearl 68 has not been online, and everybody else in the chatter is worried that she might have been made.
Okay. So do I know, like, have I ever met her?
Never in person,
or,
no.
Okay. But have I ever kind of got things from her and been sent to us?
Yes. For example, the cell phone she sent you, it was through a dead drop in one of the train stations. So you can probably try in that. You have used that to provide some evidence or get some evidence in the form of photographs, like the ones you used to unmask that little scandal in the high school on the other district. So
okay. So I think, I mean, if I haven't tried, then maybe I've got ways to, I don't know, track an IP address or something like that.
you could try, yes. You could try to track the last communication she sent, which she usually pings them. So probably you can get out of that. So it would be, let's say, intelligence plus technology.
Oh boy!
Good thing is no red dice, so it's everything's okay.
So that is 2 successes?
2 successes is enough.
Oh, is it 1? Oh, yes, 1.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got 5.
One success. So, 1 success is enough for you to identify the first place it bounces. But yeah, you put your glasses. But you know it bounces off of Edinburgh and then Cyprus, and that's when you know you're not gonna find it doing this.
No.
It's like it's not gonna be the way you do it. You can hear like a voice. Blake!
Okay, do I recognize the voice? I'm guessing I recognize
Yes.
the voice.
Yes. It's your lovely retainer.
Okay. Then I will coming, and I'll shut the thing off and
Okay.
go.
Like, where have you been?
What?
I told you to get the trash out. I have a late shift tonight. I don't want you getting into trouble, okay?
Okay. I was just doing some homework. I'll do the trash now.
She gives you a kiss on the cheek and goes away. It's like, lock the door behind me, okay?
Okay.
And if you hear anything, call 999. But call me first.
Will do, Mum.
She closes the door. Opens it again. Are you locking it in or not? Closes it.
Okay. No. I love it though.
So you get a message on your mobile, on the old cell phone that you got from Sexy Pearl, and is another person. You have seen their names in the BBS chats in the forums, and he's called Trickster255.
Okay. Nice.
And he got your phone number somehow.
Okay.
But this is, have you heard from her?
No. I'll just explain that. Who is this?
It's one of Sexy Pearl's friends.
When did you last hear from her?
A week ago.
How long has it been since I've heard from her?
4 days at the very least.
Okay. Do you know anything of where she is, where she might be?
She never shows her face up. I did hear that she might be in trouble.
I'll text. I tried to track her, but she covers her tracks well.
Online or offline?
Online.
Have you tried offline?
Do I know what he means by that?
As in going out in the grid, if you have had contact. You know that she is in London
Okay.
because of the
Yeah.
the dead drops.
Yeah.
But
I would say I wouldn't know where to start.
I went to my dead drops, and there's nothing.
I'll try one of mine,
Let me know.
and I will go and maybe forget to take the trash out.
Maybe. As you leave, the phone in your house rings.
I better go get back in case it's my mum. Yeah, I got it. I'll pick it up.
Blake. It's me, Melissa.
Oh, okay. What? Why are you whispering?
Because I had an issue here at home. I want to go out.
Okay, I was just heading out. Where are you?
I'm home.
Okay.
You come
Okay.
pick me up?
Yeah, meet me in the usual place.
Oh, you'll have to have me out of the window. Go, see you later.
Yeah. Bye.
Love you.
Love you too.
And 16-year-old Blake grabs his skateboard and navigates the streets of London in the middle of the night. And he's going to meet his girlfriend. He's going to help her get out of the house because she's been having issues. As any other 16-year-old boy or girl, I assume. So in this romantic note, let us stop and go to something far grimmer. Not everybody is in attendance, Hannah, but there are more than a few additional petitioners this day.
Well, I'm more than happy to help people into the flock.
They are here because of the sort of mixed successes that you've had in the past. You have gone through the steps, changing things, experimenting as if it were a recipe or some sort of test. And sometimes you meet success, sometimes you don't. And one of your assistants, Frank, approaches you and says, Are we going ahead with the changes, or should we do a second run of the last rite?
I think we go ahead with the changes. The last ones were not as successful as I hoped. He only stayed around for about 15 seconds, so hopefully with this new set, we're going to get at least a minute.
Okay. Let's start. Alana, and one of the women's brings a box, opens the box, black velvet it's covering the instruments. And she picks a small satchel from which she brings out a box with leather straps. The rest of the people part ways from the side of this black chamber, only lit by torches and candles. And a procession from everyone wearing long red robes. A procession comes while they are bringing someone on a stretcher. He's bound, he's gagged, and he's placed on the table in front of you. Alana proceeds and puts the phylactery that you know has some scriptures from the Torah written in Aramaic, trying to see if that works this time, on the man's forehead. And it is time to bring upon the time of red, or at least find out more about it. Anything you wish to say to your congregation?
Just before the ritual starts, just go up to the bound and gagged. Don't worry. You're going to go and be seeing paradise and paving the way for our dark masters. He is ready. Let us begin. Step back.
Fran hands you the ritual dagger, a crisp, wavy, sharp blade with a red pommel. As the chanting starts, he is bathed with salt water. His gag is removed, and he starts screaming, but you know, to no avail, no one will hear his screams. And at some point, after a couple of minutes of the chants, in perfect harmony, people start bringing closer and forward the objects: obsidian, iron, jade, and finally, coals. And you test your blade against each one of them, put stones in his chest, cut yourself, bind your blood to them, and begin the ritual. I'm gonna need a dexterity plus occult to ritually sacrifice poor Adrian Smith.
5 successes.
Wow.
Critical win.
Okay. Critical win.
I'm good at what I do.
The dark chamber becomes dimmer for a second. The screams of Adrian Smith fade. And you know for a fact that he is dead. You start replacing some of the pieces that you remove with the stones, with the coal, and you try and put them up together as you charge him, electricity coming from both shoulders. The first shock does nothing. A little bit of the smell of burnt flesh gets to your nose. But the second one has the effect. The eyes of Adrian, who had been dead for about a minute, open. And they look at you immediately. And you recognize that look. Every time they come back, they look at you when you are about to ask them. But on this time, something is wrong. He sees you and immediately screams in agony, something none of them had done in the past. And he starts yelling and writhing as he starts looking to see what is it that he has on his forehead. Take it away! Take it away! This is not usual. They usually come back very calm, and you can interrogate them about the time of red. This is wrong. This is odd. This you feel is not what the Lords of Red would want. What do you do?
Turn to a few. Gag him.
He's being gagged. He's moving. He's shaking. Thing like where he's bound starts bending. He's having this bout of otherworldly strength, apparently. And he's looking at you with a fury.
Well, my congregation, I think we've hit upon the winning recipe here. Now, are there any suggestions as to what we should do here? I'm a little overjoyed that we found this, potentially, but...
Apologies, Third Hand. What if he's one of the Lords of Red? Wouldn't it be against our interests to have him suffer?
You have a point, maybe.
30 other people are looking at each other. This is no small cult, and this is barely half of the people that you usually see.
I say let him go if he's... Let him wear himself down and we can ask the questions later on.
As you say those words, as if he had heard you and completely understood everything you just said, which is usually a very difficult matter with the returned, he just goes limp. And in visible pain, but restrained, abides by what you're saying. Gasps all around. The first crystalline, clear communication between your cult and the returned.
Well, I think it's time to get to work, don't you, my friends? I think we're about to have a rather eventful night ahead of us.
Joseph.
Yes.
You're covering your shift.
My shift.
As usual. You are right now have been put on the Piccadilly line.
Yep.
And Joseph is driving the tube.
Yep.
As per usual.
Let's hope I'm not a less than average mortal then.
And are you drunk?
Probably.
Holborn Station is in the Piccadilly line.
Yes.
You have no idea why they gave you this line, but they gave it to you.
But they gave it to me. Yeah, I mean, probably I've topped up from the night before, but I mean, yeah, not probably noticeably. I mean,
no, but you are at least under the influence.
Definitely, if I was tested, it would be a bad state of affairs. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So you are lost in your own thoughts. The pocket square is still in your pocket. That pocket square that belonged to another man in another life. And you do want to make it as if it was another life. You want to think about it as if it was not something that happened to you. Definitely not something that happened on a normal day like today. Buff is with you.
Yes.
You smuggled him into the conductor's cabin.
Yep.
And you're just normally conducting, and when you know that you're approaching a station, you grab Buff and from the board
Yeah.
and put him on the floor because you don't want anyone ratting on you that you have your cat with you.
Yeah.
Everyone's adorable apart from me.
Buff goes around your leg as you start slowing down.
Yep.
And you stop paying attention to Puff as you depart from the station.
Yep.
Because you know the next one is Holborn.
Yep. Okay.
In that fateful day 10 years ago, when that man, someone that you never knew the man, but you know his name, Timothy Roberts. Whatever might have driven Timothy that fateful day to throw his life away by throwing himself into the tracks in front of the train you were conducting. You have not either cared or had the stomach to try and find out. His decision was his, but his decision has affected your life. And it is as if you could clearly remember it. You can see still his gray shirt, his opened up white hoodie, tattered jeans, the look, and you felt it. You saw that look. Right as you were approaching the station, you saw him, and you knew something was odd, but could not react in time. And it is as if, as you approach Holborn Station, as if he was right there. He seems to be right there.
I tried to stop the train wherever I am immediately.
Wits plus technology trains.
Should have put more in wits.
Wait. Sorry. You have a 1 die penalty because you are under
Oh.
the influence. Sorry.
Yes, correct. Okay, forgot about that. Okay.
Oh my god!
However, I'm pretty good at driving trains drunk.
Oh.
What I've got. What is that?
That's a critical
Critical
win.
win.
Okay. 5 successes, critical win.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
4 dice.
You see him again in the station, and you see him running again for the last second, taking the short sprint, the 3 steps, the 1, 2, 3 jump, and he does that, and you stop the train, and he disappears behind, the glass in the window,
Okay.
and then you see people at the station. The reaction is very different from the time Tim killed himself. People are just weirded out that you just stopped the train.
Is the whole train in the station, or have I stopped it? Like
A third.
Okay, so I.
Well, I mean, you saw it as you were coming in, and you managed to stop it as the train maybe got a third, almost a half, not even halfway into it.
So I'm on the dial to the control center because I think someone's just tried to kill themselves in front of my train. So
Okay.
I'm not moving the train from where it is. I'm also not opening the doors of the train. So that's why.
I assume you will be notifying
Yes.
the passengers in the train. We have had
There's been an
of the
incident.
tracks. Incident in
Yeah.
the tracks.
Yeah, so I'm then saying somebody has tried to throw themselves in front of my train. I don't know, I can't see the person, but this would, I presume, kick off getting the police here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Luckily, no one threw themselves. And you're starting to think maybe you were a little too drunk. But whatever alcohol was in your system is gone. You burned it out. Like the stress and the nerves.
Yeah.
Just cleaned it off of your system. Now, your supervisor shows up. Sort of a new guy. Like, Joseph, I'm really, really sorry. I mean, I could not imagine what you're going through. I was just told that you had the incident here in this. I should have put you in another rotation. I should have put you in the Jubilee line. I'm really sorry. I don't know what to say.
This is he's not here. I don't know what happened.
It's okay. You
It's
want to
not-
take the night off? Just
Yeah, that's
go ahead and take the night off. I will change your rota. Come in about a couple of days. You know, you will be in a different line. I will talk to other people.
Right. But he was right here. He was right here. I saw him like it was 10 years ago. It was just the same guy. It was.
And he puts a hand on your shoulders, like, is everything okay? You want me to get in touch with one of the counselors that we have?
No. I'll just go home. I'll be fine. I try and collect up my cat surreptitiously in my clothes. I hope the Boff has got the intellect to remain quiet.
Well, he does. He usually is very quiet around the station. That's why you and, well, the couple of people that know about him let you have it, because he's never making any mess. He's never loud. He's always super quiet, and it's always nice to have him around.
And then when I disembark the train, and then I'll go to make my way home.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no, I won't go and make my way home. I will leave the station platform, but I know this station, I know the layout of this station quite well. Mm-hmm. So I want to go and have a look, because they will have stopped the train for this. And I go and have a look down the tracks for what I think I saw. I'm not going to spend ages doing it, and I'll have to do this secretly, because obviously they're not just going to let me walk down the tracks with my cat. But yes.
After the train is moved,
Yep.
the station is closed for a short period of time, because an investigation will happen, and you know when it's going to happen. Like, in the time,
Yep.
it's cleared out temporarily, and the people jumping in and making sure. It's safe to go there, but the people that need to go there are not there yet.
Okay.
And you just jump, have a walk around, nothing to see, just, like a couple of things that people throw sometimes, or things that are being dragged because of the pressure differential and the wind, but nothing like that.
Then I make my way home.
Okay.
To drink.
Okay. I was going to ask you if you were going to go to a pub or straight home
No,
and drink.
I'm home on my own to drink.
Okay. Okay. So, after a long day at work, Stuart, in which you have not had to do many runs.
Good day then.
Yeah. But the ones you had to do were like slightly long,
Yeah.
because they were aiding other hospitals that were nearby and all that. You finally parked the ambulance in the hospital's parking lot, and you just talk to the people you need to talk, punch the cards or beep your way out, and make it home. It was a day shift. You have to rest, because in a couple of nights' time, you'll have a night shift, and those are a drag.
Yeah.
On your way home, you stop to pick up what your wife Julia had asked you for dinner. Anything in particular that you would also like to do now that your job's done and you're going to meet your family?
How much time do I know I've got before I meet? Go for meet them?
A couple of hours. Your shift ended at about 3 in the afternoon. You need to be there by 5, 6.
No, I've got a couple of hours. I'll go to my favorite little spot for pulling out the binoculars for.
Okay.
Watching.
You go to a place inside the city. You don't have the chance to go all the way to the reserve, and sit down in one of the benches of the quieter parks. One that that will have some bird activity. Now, of course, your favorites are not likely to be here during the day, and you will see mostly the doves. And the reason you come to this one is to avoid things in Canary Wharf and
Yeah.
pelicans. Well, no, that's the other one, seagulls and things like that. But magpies and doves are the ones you're going to see. But you do see a pair of nightingales, which is odd because they have been, like, some of them have been pushed away to the outer boundaries of the city, and they have nested in one of the small nooks in one of the buildings, and you see them going around, and they are nice to look at, but in the contrast of the harsh city environment, they look particularly beautiful when they come and collect, and they have this from their nest to a statue with a name half raised, and then around the park, and then back to the statue, and then back to the nest, as if it was like a little rendezvous point for them. And it's like this little couple, they're making their nest, and it's a nice activity, and you are there with your binoculars looking up. Some people give you weird glances. You're in the middle of the city with binoculars and a bench, and you're looking up to what looks to be a building. So this is like, I don't know, old technology peeping Tom. Looking.
I have a book of bird watching beside me, and as well as a pet.
And you're making your notes as a good bird watcher, okay? So people get the idea fairly fast. Unless they are like 15 paces away, they're going to think you're a pervert trying to look into somebody's window for them when they are showering. So,
I think we're Miracle 3 again.
not only that, wait until you hear what's his favorite bird. But it will happen when he goes to the reserve. So, eventually you go home after you buy your groceries and stuff. And as usual, your daughters are arguing.
What are they going at this time?
Isabel, the youngest, is complaining that mommy does not want to take her to ballet. But you do know that she has not been going to ballet because she said she didn't like ballet, but now she likes ballet. And her older sister is not helping with the argument. But it's basically, you have a crisis. Poor Izzy wants to go back to ballet because she loves ballet. And Julia is telling her, the only reason you're going to go back to ballet is because your friend wants to go back to ballet. It's not because you want to be with your friend.
It's like my real life.
Yes. I'm sorry if I am reenacting pieces of your life. Of course, when you open the door, she runs towards you, crying, bawling. Daddy, I want to go back to ballet. And then you hear your other daughter up in the stairs going, Daddy, I want to go back to ballet. And they're going upstairs.
I heard that.
Julia's like, can you... I have stuff to do. She picks up the groceries that you put in it. You deal with her. And she goes cooking.
I'll deal with
Like,
it.
she looks exhausted. Like, your wife looks exhausted. This has been going on for a while. And you know Izzy is very, passionate about the things when she wants something. She's very, she's the youngest. She's the one you pamper.
I thought you didn't like it. You said you didn't like ballet anymore.
I didn't like one of the girls that was there. The other girls now, the ones that I didn't like, they left. And the ones that I like, I stayed. But I like ballet. I like ballet, Daddy. I like ballet. She starts like showing off because she has done rehearsals, and you see her, like you evaluate her. She goes like, I want to do my part for you. And said, look, I learned it. I have been practicing. Please, Daddy, please take me, please. It's gonna be late, please. It's like 6:30. It's almost 6:30. Please, Daddy, please.
I just don't want to go out inside. Just
Child!
don't you read the dash?
Yeah, this is the dilemma. Do you want to make your daughter happy and get in trouble with your wife? Do you want to have a good night's sleep and not take your daughter to ballet? See, this is calm compared to our usual blood and the time is stress. Okay?
I think it's a little too real, if you ask me.
Which makes it scary.
There are no good choices, Phil.
Why don't you roll a dice?
Yeah.
What are you gonna roll?
I think I want to get a read on her. See.
Oh, you get a read on her to see.
Yeah.
Okay. Do wits plus insight.
Yep. I'm good at something I'm good at. I got 4.
Sort of like what? Okay, she is faking 80% of the emotional distress. But she is genuine in the fact that, well, she said it to you straight. The girls I like to hang out with are going there. So she gave you that part straight, but she's just going overboard with the melodrama.
Now, Izzy, darling, I beg you, you need to promise me something.
Yes, Daddy, anything. That'll be good. I already did my homework.
Stop being so dramatic about this stuff with the mother.
Not being dramatic, Daddy. Don't you say that to me.
I bring her in.
Okay, so it's in the cover of darkness. A skateboard hitting on the sidewalk, which is called pavement here.
Yes, pavement.
That one
Yep.
approaches Melissa's house. So now, for the benefit of everyone, describe Blake and his skateboard.
Okay, so Blake, I think, is probably a pretty lanky 16-year-old boy. He has dark hair. You know, wears a cap even when it's the middle of the night, and his skateboard has painted on it like, I don't know, probably like a Grim Reaper, right, or like something like that. Something called a dragon. A dragon.
Dragon. It has a dragon. A gift
Like,
from Melissa.
Yeah. Melissa painted it.
Yes, Melissa is the one who paints. You paint for crap.
Yeah. So he's gonna go to the house. I assume that they have some sort of routine of how to get her out of the house without being noticed.
Sort of. It's not a routine. You have thought about it and done it once, but the one time it happened, her parents were not in, and she was babysitting, and like having a it was like, let's try it out.
Okay. Well, I guess it's going to be attempt number 2.
Yes, this is going to be attempt number 2. So could you please do a dexterity plus stealth roll?
Absolutely, I can do a dexterity plus stealth roll. 4 successes.
4 successes.
We're on a well tonight.
Don't say that.
It is.
You approach the side and throw a couple of small, from the gravel on the entrance stones at the window.
Yeah.
And she opens the window, and you put the skateboard and use it as a step so you can go into the little side roof.
Yeah.
And then help her out. The thing is that her parents sleep right there. But you don't see the dad. You see the mom on bed sleeping. Because you're literally standing on the little rest of the window.
Yeah.
So you can help her go sideways to that window. It's a risky move. It's not that late in the evening. It's fairly early, but the mom is in the bed, and the dad's not around. So probably that's why she told you that she wanted to try it, because probably it was a safer night. And you help her out, and then the two of you sneak out. And after a couple of blocks, then, well, she holds your hand and starts walking around like more relaxed.
Okay.
She goes like,
I give her the phone so that she can play Snake, because
okay.
Because it's 2001.
But she's gonna be like, you know that girl that studies with you, Rebecca. Well, Becky, is the right bitch. Okay? Again. And I mean, you hear the tirade because, of course, after the last term, you just go home. You had stuff to do, mysteries to solve, truths to uncover, and she appreciates that. So she fills you in on whatever happens at school or whatever is going on behind the scenes.
Is it a school night, by the way, or is it a
Tonight is a school night,
Okay.
so that's why it's kind of like a risky proposition. Okay, Lane.
Do you want?
Unfortunately, Lane's a little underwhelmed, but she's doing well.
Lane has a little bit of a sore throat. She's getting some of her stuff, and if it was picked up by the microphone, it was just magic.
Yeah, it was probably some sweet sounding Foley, actually. Anyway.
The Jaffers.
So how about you? Have you discovered anything new?
So, one of the people from the forum, like, nobody's heard from them in like a few days a week, which is weird for her because usually she's rarely like.
Is she the one is she the one that told you about that haunted house that people think is like a weapons depot?
No. She's the one that told me about sighting in, in Hyde Park.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The thing came from the ground.
Yeah. But that's
and like other stuff as well, but.
and
No,
what
it's
do you
this
think
weird. I
happened
mean,
to
she's
her?
the one that got me that as well.
With the phone.
She's... yeah.
Sexy Pearl 68.
Yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of jealous, but I'm only hoping she's like old, like 27 or something.
Well, she's got money to buy one of those for me, then.
I mean, yeah. I mean, she cannot be like, yeah. Do you like them, older? And you hear like as she loses, and she starts a new game. And after a very pregnant pause, she goes like, "Forget it. Here," and she gives you the phone. So where are you taking me?
So we've just been walking towards the, where you
One of your
thing. Yeah. We've just been walking that way.
You go there, and there are some lockers in one of the. It's a small bus station. There are some lockers, and you go to one of the lockers that that even though it looks locked and everything, if you move it around with a pen, it opens, and it's usually for small notes that are in code. And there is a small note. And it has a random collection, initially, of letters, numbers, and symbols. It looks like someone was writing an address and only wrote the bits that they needed to remember.
Okay.
Like half of a postcode. And the one name of a two-name street, or things like that. But they are sort of gobbled. And you do know that if it's hers, it's intentional and it has a meaning.
Gotcha.
But you will have to run it on a cipher.
Yeah, so probably I'll take that and go run through a cipher. Okay. So I should take that and then head towards my little hidden...
Your love nest, as Melissa likes to call it, because that's when you make out. But it's actually the place where you have the computer and connections and all that sick stuff.
Yeah.
Which is what you are interested in. As well as Melissa. So, you sit there, you arrive there, you sit there, she sits, next to you, behind you. And she's always been really curious about all this sort of investigation work that you have been doing, helping sort of like your journalism skills put into the test, or what you want, to be your career?
So, before I try to decode it in any way, I'll go onto the forum and I'll put, probably with like the title of like decode this, and I'll try and represent the note as best I can. So I use like underscores and then put the letters where they are on the note and that kind of thing. And then I'll start trying to.
It's going to be an intelligence plus investigation roll.
That's right there. 3 successes.
3 successes. With the help of people in the forum that help you fill in some blanks. It makes no sense for other people, but it makes total sense to you.
Yeah.
It has a date, which is 3 days from now. And it is a place. But it's not the name of the place. It's the code name of a place. It's a code name you have received for that drop for where you got the phone on Baker Street.
Okay. So
So people in the chat will not know
Yeah.
where is the place, and the 3 days from now is sort of the only information they have.
So obviously Melissa's sat with me, so I'll be like explaining to her. I'll be like, you see this? So that's I'm like explaining to her what it is.
3 days from now, Baker Street. That's Saturday. Can I go with you?
Okay.
And you have the rest of the night talking conspiracy theories and kissing your girlfriend before she goes like, it's late. Let's go home because I don't want my mom finding out.
And then sneak her back into the window.
Sneak her back. Which is actually a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to be like deeply asleep. And she can just come through the door.
Yeah.
Less
And then
fuss.
obviously when I go home, I will be as quiet as possible in case my mom is.
Your mom is on a shift.
Okay. So
So-
she might, I don't know, sometimes she comes home for lunch or something like
Yeah.
real quiet. Or in case any of the neighbours hear me like going in or something like that.
Okay. So Joseph wakes up completely hungover.
This is the following morning.
Sorry?
This is the following morning.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Describe Joseph and his
yeah.
flat
Describe Joseph in his flat. Oh, I haven't thought it was flat.
and Bob.
So Joseph is overweight. He has short brown hair and brown eyes. He's sort of like late 30s. His flat is pretty untidy. It has a whole raft of books about different things in it, but aside from that, it's basically a very kind of basic bachelor flat. Boff, though, is a big stripy ginger tomcat who is about spherical. So that's Boff and Joe. So I've just woken up. I don't have to work today, do I?
No, and you do have a message in your answering machine
Okay.
from your supervisor saying that it's been done. You can take today off, and then tomorrow, if you're feeling like it, you have been placed under another supervisor, and you're going to be serving the Jubilee line. So
I don't like the Jubilee line. It's too new. Sorry, in which case I have some time today to go and explore some of the abandoned stations on the tube that I enjoy exploring. I mean, I'm not like rushing myself to get up, I'll be honest. Yeah, so I don't feel great. But as soon as I feel able to get out of bed, I will do that, and I will get a can of something immediately to basically make myself feel okay again. And then I will, once I've managed to get myself ready, I'll head out to go and look at some, or go and visit some abandoned tube stations.
okay. Are you going on your own, or are you going with anybody else?
I'm going on my own.
Okay. Are you taking Buff with you?
Yes. It's my best friend.
Also, he's your best guide because
Yes.
he's the one who gets into the little corners that
Yep.
made you find those things
Yeah.
next to the British Museum. Okay, so
I mean, I'll probably start there because it's the station where which I know the best.
yeah, you're feeling like in a haze, partly because of the hangover,
Yep.
but also because of the memory of this person. It's not escaping your mind. For some reason, it's tied stronger than usual. It's like a revival of that moment. And you know, you have told yourself 100, thousands of times, it's not your fault. But there's a little part of your head saying, but if you had seen it earlier, maybe you could have done something. Maybe.
I could have stopped earlier, like I did yesterday.
Yes, and that you find some solace in the fact that the worst case scenario, you learn the lesson. You have the reflexes. You have the ability. You can do it. If it happens again, you can do it. You will stop the train next time. Still, that pocket square in your pocket that belonged to him
Carry it with me.
is a constant reminder that everybody has a journey, and his ended that day.
Can I remember which part of the track this happened on? I presume it was in the station because he's basically stepped out of the station. So before I make my way down into the network, I might go and sit on the platform for a bit and just think about him and this. I don't know very much about him, but what might have driven him to this? What might have happened in his life to drive him this way? Just, I suppose, like a moment of reflection.
Yeah, and at some point, it draws your attention that Buff is on the platform as you're sitting on a bench. He's on the platform in the exact same spot that he jumped from. And
On that day 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Yep.
and he's just going around that spot, and then, laying down there.
I call him back to me because I'm worried there might be lots of people he might also fall on the tracks.
Comes back to you, but still looks in that direction. As Buff is in your lap, you feel him tense a bit,
What is it?
but then relaxes. And with that, a train arrives.
After the train leaves the station, I'll pick him up, so I'm carrying him. I'll go stand wherever it was he was like lying near the edge of the platform. Does this feel any different to me? So I feel, beyond the kind of weird, strange feeling I have.
Yeah, nothing beyond the really awkward thing that he jumped from here. That's it.
Okay.
Maybe it's the haze of the booze leaving your system, but it feels odd. And you only have Buff to find some comfort.
Okay. Well, I won't stay here. I'll go on my way.
Cool. And you go off and explore.
Yep.
So after what was a very successful night a couple of nights ago, you have your notes. Adrian stopped fighting and asked to have the phylactery removed. You asked in advance, would that change things or communication? And you managed to strike a deal with him. Yes, he was one of the Lords of Red. Coming back, first to scold you for making him suffer. But secondly, demanding yet another sacrifice, for visions of doom had come to him. Doom that will not bring upon the time of red. Doom that will impede the time of red to realize.
Well, then these must be stopped at all costs.
And with a smile, Adrian died. Again. So now you have put everybody in your considerable cult. Again, looking for people who live alone, who have no one that will miss them, who have no... don't laugh.
Sorry.
People that will be easy to bring to a sacrifice. And they have found someone. And this someone is a tube conductor. Came under the radar a couple of nights ago. Someone with probably PTSD or something similar who had an incident in Holborn Station. And now they have been trying to identify where this person has been moved. And apparently he will have his first shift on the Piccadilly line, on the Jubilee line tonight.
Well, that sounds like a prime target. I think I might go and...
It's going to be a late shift also, so he's going to be on the last trains. So maybe riding the train until the time is right. And then following him back home. Because there's very little information for this one. And you want to capture this one yourself. Because it needs to be done as soon as possible. You need to know. You need to know.
Of course, my
How to
lords
stop
have granted me this opportunity. I can't waste it now. So I'll go scout out the area.
Okay.
See what I can find about him.
So...
And where I should wait.
About the conductor, not much other than solitary, never married, no kids, no siblings. Probably dead parents. They have not talked that much, but the person is he keeps very much to himself. It was odd that the only companion anyone has seen them with is a cat he has, and that's it. And doesn't relate with co-workers, doesn't go to drinks out, doesn't go to work dues, doesn't do anything. They have tried to see if he's registered in any hobby, activity, guild, organization, memberships, association, club, martial arts, whatever. Nothing. Nothing. The guy is a ghost. A ghost that exists, but it's a ghost.
Not for much longer.
I'm gonna ask you to do...
I'm moving my head now.
So you're gonna be trying to do some reconnaissance of the area, right? Okay. You're gonna give me an intelligence plus streetwise roll to see if you can maybe try to use the lay of the land to your advantage.
Intelligence plus streetwise, yeah.
Yes.
Just 2. 2 successes.
2 successes is enough. Difficulties for mortal are low.
2 out of 2.
So
Yeah, otherwise we're getting nothing.
okay. So you get the basics of it. You understand that you would have to go in the car that is closest, or in the car that the conductor is in. Maybe have a couple of people with you. Going through the lines, doesn't matter if you go around in circles. Eventually, he's gonna have to go out. You can send one of your girls to follow him to see where he goes, while other people will be waiting in certain points. You have plenty of people that can move above ground as well, but you can have at least 3 or 4 people in the train with you, in other cars, and moving and waiting for instructions. So it can be done, and if it's done swiftly, the ritual can be performed before dawn.
Looks like I have a task ahead of me. I'm going to go gather up a few of my best followers, keep them in the train with me, and execute this plan as soon as I am able.
Okay.
For the sake of descriptions, because everyone else has described their characters and I haven't yet.
That's what I was going to do when you went to the train, because you were going to be all dressed up, but do it.
So she is huge, like Coke bottle glasses, as a, I'm all nice and innocent. Sort of for short blonde hair down to about here, completely straightened.
Down to her shoulders.
Yeah. And she's about 30, 32.
Early 30s, blonde hair, and with an intent to kill. So, a couple of days pass, and you have a full day to yourself before you go into night shift. And now you can go to the reserve, and now you can be at ease. You meet with other fellow bird watchers and ornithologists and exchange notes, conversations. Someone says, I was weird. I saw those nightingales as well. But I mean, you know, your co-workers, they find it cute that you like your bird watching, and they are very, very curious about it. And they hear your stories, but they find hilarious that your favorite one is the blue tit. They make all kinds of jokes about it, but also when you show the either notes or images, pictures that you sometimes take and drawings, they do find the beauty in it, but then they go like, only a man like you would like tits, and only a man like you would like them blue. But I mean, it's a nice bird. You like it because of the colors around the changing seasons. It's very visible in the spring, in the summer, in the winter. It doesn't matter. It's noticeable, and it's a cute bird to watch. You take some pictures, and then go back home. And after the placid day, the tranquility of the park, you hear it. The moment you close the door behind you, Dad! Izzy messed up all of my lipstick! Like, Mom said you should share, but you ruined them! Oh. Dad, I totally did not mess her lipsticks. And then Izzy comes down the stairs. She looks like a coloring book. Mommy said, and she starts crying, of course. The moment she sees you, it triggers the crying. And you hug her, very careful not to get lipstick all over you.
Which it's probably going to happen anyway, but...
So, of course, you roll the door, she slams the door. You look at Izzy again, and she's still like crying. Is that mascara that's running? Like, oh my god. She went, like, it looked like she raided her sister's makeup kit. And now she's a mess. So, of course, I mean, your daughter is right to be mad. But, I mean, poor Izzy's bawling, man. She's really sorry. She's asking you to forgive her. I'm sorry, Daddy. I didn't want to make you real bad.
Let's get you cleaned up.
Okay. You have never tried to remove something that is so damn hard to remove in your life. I mean, you are a medical expert. You are a first responder. You get blood stains out of stuff as if it was just dust on the cover of something. No, this is impossible to take. Like, you go all the way to your room, to your wife's stuff, and go like, okay, what does your mom use to take it off? Because like, this thing is thick. Like, she has, her eyelashes are stuck together. She sometimes blinks and they stay there for a little longer on the way up. I mean, what do they put in this tar? I mean, you're not... Oh my God. Eventually, you find the products, the thing that you see your wife on her cleaning routine, and you clean your baby girl's face.
Noting that I'm going to buy more of those damn things later to replace the stuff.
Yeah. Your wife is not, and she's also a medical professional, and she is also on her shift. So Izzy's gonna have to be babysat by her sister, while both of you have a night shift. I mean, but she's old enough to be taking care of her, so it's not like a big issue. So, what are you up to after you have this conversation? Well, after Isabel's face is clean, what are you gonna do?
Probably listen out to see what the other daughter's up to first.
Go away.
Now, honey, it's me here, not your sister.
She opens the door, but the moment you see the door open and she's already turning her back to you, she's like, I cannot deal with Isabel right now.
So what are you dealing with then?
She totally messed up my makeup. I mean, Dad, that's the makeup that I was saving money, and Mom gave me.
So why don't you help me start while she tries to explore the stuff that she likes?
She does have makeup. She has that bubblegum lipstick gloss.
Yeah, she's looking to explore and grow. You remember when you were her age, you wanted to explore and grow?
You didn't buy me makeup until I was 15. She's 13.
Yes,
She has to wait 2 more years, Dad. First fair, you said first fair. You said first fair.
The thing is, sisters, you do need to help each other out. And again, when she's older, you'll have something where you can go. I helped you with that, and then you can. That's what it's nice, but it's bonding time.
So you're gonna replace the makeup she messed up?
Yes. I'll be buying you some more, but be nice with the sister and try to help her, teach her. Like your mum was teaching you.
Okay. Thanks, Daddy.
Bring her in, kiss her on the head.
Okay.
Eddie, baby.
And as you're getting ready for your shift, she brings all the makeup that is messed up. You're like, so, Izzy, wanted me to teach you how to put on real makeup? And then you leave them to it.
Hoping I don't. It's either going to go well or it's going to be a bomb site. And the wife will be back home first, so either way, I'm in trouble.
You leave everything ready with a meal and everything, so they just have to, heat it and serve it, and then you go for your shift that night. Blake, it is the day.
Gross.
It is the What? It is the day. The place is going to be the place. What are you gonna do?
Okay, so you're saying it's 3 days later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I would have informed the forum and certainly the guy that was texting me, or the person that was texting me, that I've had contact from.
Oh, sexy bro. Okay.
Probably I'll not tell them exactly what it is, but I'm guessing that they'll be like, "Oh, is that to do with the note that you did the thing?"
Yeah, well, they'll ask, you'll be cryptic, then they'll say, tell her to get in touch with the rest of us as soon as she can.
Yeah. So I would have arranged to meet Melissa before going. She wants to come with me.
Yes.
Does that happen? Is that possible? To sneak out again, or
No. You can just go and pick her up.
okay, yeah.
When you go in and pick her up, she says that you have to wait for a while. And then someone that lives around, a neighbor, she's like, you have seen her. She's she was 1 year older than you guys in school.
Yeah.
She lives around the area. She goes and sees Melissa, and she goes like, hey, everything all right? Yeah, everything's fine. And then the girl just steps into Melissa's house, and then you just leave. Like, yeah, let's go.
Okay.
What have you heard? Have you heard anything from her?
Not yet. Only the note that we found. That's why we're going now. 'Cause that's where she wants.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought she might have said something. No.
No, she never usually says much, but what she does say, you should listen to. Yeah.
So it's already the night, and you go to Baker Street tube station to see if you can find whatever it is. Sexy Pearl 68 left for you.
Yeah.
You're driving the train on the Jubilee line, Joseph. An average night, a new line. You're with a fellow conductor. He's accompanying you, telling you the basics. Like basically, he's driving, teaching you the basics of the new line. It's like, you need to get used to it.
Trains.
Sorry?
Newer tube trains.
Yeah, like he's not teaching you how to drive a train. He's teaching you about the line.
Okay. So I don't have the cat with me then.
No, you don't.
Disappointing. Okay.
Probably left at home.
Yep. Bit less drunk, maybe.
And you are definitely sober.
Yeah. Gross.
It makes it hard, Hannah, that when you saw the conductor, you see two people. And it looks like it's going to be a two-man job for the night. But it's too good an opportunity.
An extra body.
An extra body. Wow. The thing is that you even make it a conversation with other people. And they go like, but we don't know anything about it. What if he has like family, friends and stuff that will start making a fuss about this?
I guess that's a risk we have to take, you heard. Our lords, they can't...
Boom! The track trembles, shakes. Do a wits plus technology roll. Baker Street boy.
Oh dear. Fail.
Okay.
Well, I have one success.
Okay. One success is not enough, but you can succeed at a cost.
What, on a tube train? Who would do that? Me, definitely. Yeah.
So in order to keep the train on the tracks,
Yep.
you will have to keep it going.
Okay.
Trying to stop it actually will probably derail you.
Well, against possible derailment or guaranteed derailment, I'm going to go for possible derailment and do that.
Okay.
Keep it going. Yep.
So there is a dust of cloud, smoke, and fire coming your way.
From towards my train.
Yes.
I definitely stop the train.
So you don't want to succeed at a cost.
No, not if there's a fireball coming. Otherwise, it's delaying the inevitable. So that means I'm in an emergency procedure.
Yes, you
So
are.
I will be carrying out the emergency procedure, whatever that is.
Okay, so can you please, Hannah, that you are in the train, make a stamina plus athletics roll? because your body is going to dance around. Can you do yours is a dexterity plus athletics.
Yeah, you won.
One.
No, I have some athletics.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you see that, and you activate the emergency procedure and immediately duck as a fireball just explodes the windshield.
Okay.
You are thrown around and hit your head against one of the walls.
I follow the emergency protocol, which will involve making announcements from the tannoy through to the passengers on the train and dialing this through to the control centre.
You have not finished. Stop it. Like you.
Oh, I haven't finished.
No.
Nearly dying. Okay,
No.
sorry.
So on the station, you feel the ground shake. Then you see from one end a ball of like dust coming, like filling the station, and the roar of a train come in as the station starts slightly collapsing.
The station is collapsing.
Or at least the part of the station you are in, which is right next to one of the walls that just blew a lot of debris past you.
Okay, well, let's get away from the part of the station that is collapsing.
Okay. You and Melissa will do strength plus athletics rolls.
Two successes.
And Melissa has 2 successes, so both of you can succeed at a cost.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, this is not a cooperative roll.
Cost
It
is
was,
one Jaffa cake.
What's the cost? I mean, I put them there to share. What is the cost?
Sure.
you can succeed. No. Okay, there are 2 possibilities. You can fail by you can make her succeed by being pinned yourself. Or you succeed by leaving her pinned.
How much do you love her?
What you gonna do when it comes
Oh,
for you?
Jesus.
Bad boy, bad boy.
Okay, so one of those implies that my reflex is to get her out of the way, and one of them implies that my reflex is to get out of the way.
No, one of them implies that in order for you to survive, you cut in front of her, actively jeopardizing her and leaving her behind. And the other one is you push her out of the way and you push her to safety, but you get pinned. It's directly your actions.
I think I will do the latter.
You will push it out of the way and be pinned yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will need from Joseph and from Joseph and from Hannah stamina plus stamina rolls.
Hey?
A stamina times 2. You roll your stamina twice because there is nothing that can save you from a derailed train other than your body.
I have 2.
2 out of 2.
Wow. Both of you take 4 health levels of damage. Aggravated. Well, because it's the only
Wait,
one.
how much can I take before I die?
What's your stamina?
2.
5.
Oh,
That's
okay.
how much you can take before you die.
Disappointing.
I'll
Okay.
take you 4, I'm dead.
Well, you are unconscious, on the verge of.
I am 4 out of 5. So.
4 out of 4.
There are... Okay, while you are coming back from filling the tank of the ambulance, you hear the explosion. You don't feel it because the suspension of the car will most definitely absorb it. The shock absorbers will deal with it. But you will hear the explosion. And then you will hear the screaming. You are 1 street, maybe 2 streets away. No further than that.
I'm beelining it.
So you drive in that direction. Yeah. I'm gonna need a Wits plus drive check because you're literally gonna go turn on the siren and go into whatever direction you can.
Yeah.
That is 4.
Nice. So
I'm fucking medic there with this one.
Yeah, well, you are a paramedic and you are a first responder. You're taking the ambulance as fast as you can. You even have to you make it through one like a half sidewalk so you can turn around and then move to the place.
Trying to copy a.
You are there maybe 30, 45 seconds after you do your maneuver to go in the right direction. And all you can see is people leaving the place. It's a cloud of smoke. It's very difficult to see. And people are leaving the station in a panic. Some of them are bloodied. Some of them are coughing. They're screaming. It looks like a bomb exploded on the station.
And I'm radioing that.
Okay.
Just informing that. And
one of the persons that is coming out. Well, I'm gonna need Wits plus awareness roll from you.
Haha. I'm gonna. 3.
Okay, you recognize one of the people coming out of the dust cloud with a little bit of blood and bruises. Is your older daughter Melissa?
Honey.
Dad, Blake's inside. Please help Blake. Please help Blake.
Who the fuck is Blake?
It's my boyfriend. Please, Dad. Please. I love how you make it funny in the middle of a tragedy.
Making will think of these fuckers again. Actually, 4 of them. I'll deal with you later. Are you okay?
I'm fine, but he pushed me out of the way so I would survive. Please, Daddy, please. He's a hero, please.
Get your ass home, back to your sister. Go!
And she starts crying as she runs.
And I'm moving in.
Okay. Strength plus athletics to go back in and sort of like doing what you can. Okay, you fall through, like you try to maneuver through some of the debris and you slip and slide, which is a very common thing. Take 1 health level of damage.
Accurate or superficial?
Superficial, rounded up to 1, so it's superficial. And you hear moaning, groaning, and everything is very hazy. There's a dust cloud around.
Just radio and definite multiple casualties on the radio. And keep trying to.
Like you took 2 health levels of lethal damage for your heroic maneuver, and you're pinned under a piece of column that is crushing your leg. So of course he's not the only one. Some of the like you see like a hand and rubble. You see some people that are still inside that cannot go out because they're on the other side. There is a train completely crashed at the end of the station. The railing hit the edge of it, and then it just like an accordion. There is fire.
Oh boy. Yeah, I gotta be starting helping those out who I can first. So if they feel that just scattered to maybe like just dazed, just trying to help them out of the area.
You start doing your stuff. Do Wits plus medicine roll, please, to assess who can move and who can't, and then get them into.
That was cocked. 4.
4 successes, enough. In the middle of the thing, you know who can move, who cannot move, who can be put aside, and all of that. There is someone who has clearly a broken collarbone. There is a kid with his leg trapped under some debris. There is, I mean, with a skateboard nearby.
Is the skateboard okay?
Is the skateboard okay?
Let's roll for skateboard.
The skateboard is okay. It's okay-ish. Okay, it's not broken. If that's what you're asking.
Fucking minute.
Am I able to do anything, or I'm unconscious?
Rolls willpower.
I have no idea what that is.
So,
Composure plus resolve.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that'll-
Four.
4 successes. You are conscious.
And I will be. If is the cab on fire of the front of the train?
There is fire outside. The danger right here, right now, is electrical damage, electrical hazard.
Okay, so I'm going to be trying to get from
The guy that's with you is unconscious.
Okay, then I'm going
And
to.
from the angle of his neck, he's going to be unconscious for a while.
Okay. Then there's presumably a door behind me which would open out into the first carriage.
Yes.
So I want to open that door.
Strength.
Yeah, try and get me and him out.
It's a feat of strength, so it's a strength plus strength.
1. No, never mind.
No.
That's what I'm doing then. I'm just trying to open the door.
Okay, you are locked there.
Yep.
Yeah. So, talk to me, Stuart.
I'm pulling out. So all that I can from the immediate area, so I get those who
You
might
get
be able
absolutely everybody out except the kid that has the leg trapped
To,
because debris.
yeah.
You were the only one standing on that edge of the platform.
I mean, I'm also obviously shouting.
Oh yeah, you can hear screams and shouts inside.
I assume there are other people shouting.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Have I heard anything already for when any other response are going to arrive?
They are about a minute out. Like the closest response, which is not firemen, they'll take a couple more minutes. I mean, this just happened.
Yeah. So a couple of minutes, and the unseen and train doors is certainly beyond me. Yeah, because we all demonstrate. So I'll just go to the kid.
Okay. Both of you, Blake and Stuart, wits plus awareness. You too, Joseph.
Which was alertness?
Yeah. Wits plus awareness.
Awareness, okay. Fail. 0 success.
3 successes.
2.
Okay. You do not see what hits you on the back.
Noted.
And lights go out.
Okay.
You do have a chance to see what comes after the paramedic that is helping you. And it reminds you of that time you were trapped in that place. Not quite, but it reminds you of that day. And the figure you see is deformed, and its long fangs are sinking into the neck of the medic.
I pretend to be dead.
You motherfucker.
And even pretending being dead, you feel someone handling you, moving stuff, grabbing you by an arm and lifting you up, and you feel fangs in your neck too. Lights go out for all of you.
They went out ages ago for me.
And then they come back, those lights. When you open your eyes, there is a figure in front of you. You are covered in this goo, and this person is ripping apart a coal in which you are in. The mud and dirt and ooze that's all over, it's surreal. Welcome to the world of Wraith, the Oblivion. And that's when we're gonna go for a break.
Okay, I have no knowledge of this. So
I
I'm
actually
terrible.
might love you now, Carlos.
Yes, my players did not know they were in for a treat in which I was going to try and test Wraith the Oblivion.
One of my favourite games of all time.
I also want to point out that we did not know that Melissa was. We did not know.
Oh yeah,
that was
Melissa being the girlfriend of Blake and the daughter of Stuart, and Joseph being the next sacrifice of Hannah were things that I just plotted with Peter.
I did kind of pick that up early on. Yeah, that's going to be connected. Damn you!
Yeah. So, first things first, shout outs. So we're now going to be doing shout outs today for, I guess you noticed, and if you have not noticed, it's because you are listening to my voice in a podcast, because if you've been looking at the screen, you will see that I am supporting Movember. So I have gotten rid of my beard in stages, actually. So there is one that is from my sideburns all the way to my mustache. Then I have like a horseshoe mustache, and then my normal mustache that I am sporting right now. I am supporting Movember. Peter, our tech ghoul of the night, Peter, will be hopefully putting that. He's giving me a thumbs up, putting the link of my Movember page. I am supporting men's health, testicular cancer, prostate cancer, mental health, and suicide prevention. And it's going to be throughout the month of November, so you can go and click that link, or any other person you know. Movember websites can be done by either a Mobro that would like to grow or walk runs. People do also runs, or Mo Sisters, because also women can participate and also raise funds for these great causes. So thank you very much in advance just for taking a look at my Movember page, and bear with me with my weird mustache for the rest of the month.
I'll ask you a question, but I'll shave it for later.
Shut up.
Okay, so Peter, do we have chat questions that are probably related to my mustache?
We do have, well, we have lots of chat questions. I noticed Mitch has run away at a key moment.
Mitch has run away in a key moment,
Many
indeed.
questions related to Mitch. But
Are they around his hair?
there are lots of questions, so let's get rocking. So, Miss Unreason would like to know how you came up with your humans players.
I used to live in London, and I used to have a journey on the Piccadilly line that used to have a singing tube driver in it. You haven't seen this tube driver sing yet, and now you probably won't because he's dead. But that was a part of the original
Story,
concept. Yeah, exactly. So it was born out of real life experience.
Yeah, because Joseph is a singing tube driver,
Yes.
but because of the compression that I had to
Yes,
do,
of course. Yeah.
I couldn't have like the singing scene as well.
And I can't sing anyway, so you've been saved there. Yeah.
Phil?
For me, when Carl said to us, right, we're naming sort of basic London, I was thinking, might be. I was originally thinking like a cabbie, a cabbie to go with it. But a little discussion with Carlos and having looked to the book, sort of see that medicine, first aid, and kind of how about sort of first responder as one of the random ideas. Of course, that if you're a DM, storyteller, GM out there, when you get players who just start discussing character concepts, you start pinging them off suggestions. I was like, oh, and just things started to fall into place. So I'm the nice guy.
Yeah, no, it was a good conversation. It was a good conversation because he had the idea of being like a cab driver or a driver of sorts, and then we were going through the book and other skills, and then medicine, ambulance driver, and you just left it there. There were many ideas, his and mine, and then he took that. But I really like that when he came back with the idea, he went like, yeah, and he's a bird watcher, and he has a family and a wife. He created the whole concept of an ambulance driver who has a very stressful job and then goes home with 2 teenage girls. He was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going bird watching.
I gotta sit here.
So I tried my best to make it justice to to your family situation.
I should say there's been a lot of love for the teenage girls in chat.
Really? Oh, nice. For Isabel or Melissa or both?
Both.
Okay.
So my concept came about. I initially had one concept in mind that I wanted to use, but then I just said to Carlos and gave him 4 names and went, choose one of these names. And he ended up choosing the fucked up cult leader.
Like, choose between these 4 names. I don't know. Hannah, Glass, that one. It's like, okay, she's a cult leader. Kills people in cold blood, and there is this time of red that is coming. It's like, oh okay.
You're evil. We love it.
So me for Blake, I think it was, as many character ideas come about, talking with Carlos and Peter when it's the middle of the night and we're refusing to go to bed for some reason and rambling about random bullshit. But I think when I'm doing one shots, I always just like to try and think of something that would be fun to play with, for such a short amount of time. And I thought, because of the World of Darkness, if you had a character that was into conspiracy theories and things, where in the World of Darkness, some of that stuff is true, but probably not in the way that people like that think. Right, so there kind of is a secret organization of lizard men that run the world.
But they're not lizards, and they're vampires, exactly. And they run the world, and they're not lizards.
Some of them just look like lizards.
yeah. So I thought that was kind of funny, and then
went from there.
Yeah, just add the
Peter was adamant that he had, you're what, a 16-year-old? Yeah, drive 4.
Such a drive. Yeah.
I was like, no, maybe a skateboard. Yes, skateboard. Yeah, drive 4 skateboards. And that was Peter's idea.
Drive 4 Heelys.
Yep.
Any other questions?
So loads more questions. But before we get to it, there's been outrage in chat because they want to see.
I knew it. You knew it. We knew it.
Don't worry.
The hair is back.
I was just.
Captain Hare has arrived.
Okay, so there's a question for Joseph from Macabre Derek.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Different
Can we
characters.
expect Joseph to go full crazy cat lady lobbing feral cats like artillery at anyone who's
I mean, I think had he lived, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Had he
I
lived.
mean, I wait to find out whether or not you can do this in the afterlife. But if you can, I'm definitely doing it.
Thank you. So Cedar would like to know how your days are going.
Much better than when it started. So, greatly improved.
Seconded.
Thirded.
I had a huge headache and sore throat before I came here, but I wanted to push it through.
I mean, I've been having a good day. I've been having a fun day of teaching Peter tech, which began last night.
And has not stopped.
And persisted throughout this day, but it's been quite fun. I also figured out some stuff, hopefully, and you can give feedback on this, hopefully it's sounding a bit better.
They have been giving feedback? So are we feeling the wrath of chat?
We'll talk about that later, but I have been a little bit anxious that I wasn't able to hear the final sound check before.
Yeah.
Because I was sat here and Peter did all of that. So. Sorry.
So there was a question from Macabre Derek about. This is how he's very impressed with your GMing, but
thank you.
Wondered how much experience you had because he's used to you being a player.
Sorry,
How much experience have you got being a storyteller because he's used to you being a player?
I started playing role-playing games sort of semi-seriously when I was 16, and I have been a storyteller since I was 16 and a half.
So about 18
A lot of time. No, I have massive experience in storytelling, World of Darkness games, and out of my group of friends, I was the one who used to be a storyteller of Wraith. So I wanted to bring it back. Yay. But yeah.
Another question. Are these new characters fans of Bernard, Warrior of the North?
Yes, 100%. I mainly watch TV when I'm not drunk driving the tube.
Yeah.
Blake definitely is, and probably Melissa is as well.
Yeah.
Morpheus, for sure.
Well, okay.
You think I have time to watch TV?
Yeah, Hannah is not even...
I gotta bring the town
Drivers to murder.
Is Stuart even aware that Bernard Warrior of the Night exists?
It seems to be the one thing that his daughters fucking agree on.
Okay, because it's a lot of violence, and you have 2 little girls, and So no, Stuart is a no go with a fan.
It's stupid pieces that is the one thing his daughters will shut up and watch. And
Easy doesn't like it. Melissa loves it.
of course.
So, Amish
Stuart's
would
a really
like to
big fan.
know... Sorry, Amish in fact has asked me to tell you, Carlos, that you're very hand-wavy today.
I think the weight of karma I will feel it when we're watching the episode tomorrow, and then Peter goes hand.
Yeah, because that's what you do to him every week.
Yes, that's what I do. I am the hand police for Peter. So yes.
Miss Unreason has a question for Carlos. Do you know about conducting trains?
No, I don't have any personal experience about conducting trains, but I did a little bit of research. Why did I get stuff wrong?
She wasn't clear, but she just wanted to know if you had experience of it.
No, I have been in trains as they have been conducted, and the person just goes like, yeah, and you do this and that, but they explain like 70,000 things in a minute, so it's not like I'm gonna remember them all, but I do remember clearly people saying that when you're doing new routes or new tracks, you will get someone to ride along with you because they're going to be teaching you the specifics of those tracks and how to conduct, and the specifics of trains, because some tracks have different trains. So I did a little research and a little bit of life experience, I guess, and then I winged it.
Thank you. So Blindstone has a question for Lane.
Blindstone.
Why the gloves today?
Those are my sacrificing gloves.
Yeah, the sacrificing gloves.
She's been sacrificed this time.
Gracias por estar en el chat, Melo. Un abrazo, papá.
And Blindstone was also asking about your beard, but you've explained that obviously. But I wanted to say, give their compliments to you because you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you very much.
Yay,
Un
second.
millón, papá.
And I think last question. Oh, hang on. No, I say last question, but more have appeared. Nearly last question. From Amis. It's for you, Carlos. Do you
Someone's
have to-
popular today.
Do you have to roll to move forward in the act in Break the Oblivion?
Well, if you're living, yes. If you are dead, only with certain arcanoi, yes. No, usually you don't roll to move forward in the act when you're a wraith. Also, you don't roll to be a peeping tom. But that's a given.
That's like your whole life.
Come on, like wraiths are the quintessential voyeurs. Like they are completely voyeuristic.
Quick update. Miss Unreason wasn't saying it because about trains earlier because you sounded like you didn't know what you were talking about. She was asking because you did.
Okay,
You were
thank you.
astonishingly convincing.
Good to know Carlos is good at lying.
Yeah.
No, it's
Come on. As thought was anything.
into what, 4 or 5 in bullshit?
That is Moses, not Carlos. Okay.
And lastly, I don't have a question, but I have a statement from Agnes. Changeling the Lost is the best World of Darkness game.
Ooh, controversial.
We were doing a list of our favorites, and I had Mage, Wraith, and Changeling up there, like and Changeling is one of my favorites. It's right there on the top. Together, actually, it's the one that is tied with Wraith. I was like, yeah, Wraith and Changeling are right there, but Mage is my absolute favorite. But then you have these two, and then Werewolf in Vampire Fighting underneath, because they're the most classical. But I mean, the other ones are pretty interesting. Thank you very much for your questions, and support Movember.
Don't forget to gift aid.
Sorry?
they're supporting Movember, don't forget to gift aid.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget the gift.
I work for a charity.
Okay, moving on. So, there is one person that opens the call you're in. And you are in this sort of gooey ectoplasmic shit. This person opens it up, draws you out, looks at you, and goes, no, it's not this one. And then yours is open next to his. Nothing. You see the kid that you were helping, but now he's also covered in this goo. And you're still fussy, like dizzy, weak, disoriented, very. Then yours is open, nothing. Finally, yours is open, and a couple other more. And then you realize, you two first, then you slowly, that there are more. And they are chrysalis or pots in several places. And the guy is going with this thing that looks like a blade, a short one, like a little weird dagger, open these coals and serrating through them and helping the people out and looking at them in the face and going, no, this is not the one. And moving on until it gets to you. You come out of this school and the hand that is helping you up is that of Timothy. He says, I am really sorry. I didn't know.
You can't be you. Can't be you. That's not you. Can't be you.
I am me.
No, because you're dead.
So are you.
I saw you die. I saw you die twice.
And so are you.
What?
Look, I don't have much time. A storm is coming. What happened in the Skinlands?
What?
What happened where you were? How come so many people died?
Something happened with the train. There was an explosion. The train derailed. I don't know what caused the explosion.
So this is a train derailment.
I think so, but there were parts of the building collapsing, the tunnel. There was dust everywhere, and then I don't remember anything apart from people screaming. I can't be dead. So how are we having this conversation? This doesn't make sense. This can't be the afterlife. This can't be where you went.
You still have my square pocket with you for 10 years.
Yes.
And you have your cat, Buff. And 3 days ago, I saw you again. And this time you stopped the train.
It was you.
Yes.
I knew it was you. But you weren't there. You were. I stopped the train. I got out. I looked. There was nobody there.
Because it was not my physical form. Hannah, you hear a voice. There is this sort of like half-assed crater in what looks like this pit. A small drizzle starting to pick up and becoming more like a shower that is going to go into thick rain later. And this voice comes over a little mound over to one side. And there is something distinctive about this voice. And you hear it, but not quite well. You cannot understand what it says quite well. What do you do?
I think I need to get out of whatever the fuck I'm in.
Okay. No, you have been taken out. You were in the ground, and this thing and this voice you're listening. You're listening to two people having this weird conversation, and then this voice you recognize on one side.
Let's go towards it.
As you climb through the mud and the dirt and the ashes. And the ashes are dried compared to the rest of the things that are wet, as if they were also raining down. It's dark, it's hazy, and it doesn't look at all like the train you were in. And what you see from atop this little mound that goes down is a man wearing a mask that looks to be made of metal. It's a weird mask. And he is joined by 4 figures. All of them gaunt. Roll wits plus occult.
Four successes, crit win.
Oh, not only you recognize the manner of death of them, you recognize Adrian amongst them. Every single person that is accompanying this man with a metal mask has the incisions and the showings of the stones of the people you have sacrificed. Their lips are pursed and chain links close their lips, dangle from their chin, their underarms, just chain links. As this man is laughing joyfully, like, not thought about this, came for one soul, got the reaping of the harvest. And he starts opening calls, grabbing people, and then he takes something out of a satchel and puts it towards their neck. And the person that is coming out starts screaming. And that's when Timothy stopped the conversation with you. He was like,
What is that? What's going on?
He sees where you are, and he just runs to where you are and starts scrambling up.
Could I follow him?
Yeah. And whomever is curious as well.
Yep, I just run after him. Well, I run after him because he's the only thing I actually know here. He's like I'm basically the thing that's holding on to my sanity right now.
First thing I would have been doing is trying to reach for it. About radio, any of the stuff.
Nothing.
Trying to find out what's going on.
When he just goes up, immediately goes, shit, that's a Reaper, that's a heretic.
What?
A heretic, we need to run.
Run where? This is... I didn't even know where here is. What?
We're in the Deadlands, so we need to go to the Shadowlands.
If we're actually dead, what possible threat could this person be?
You don't get it.
No, I don't get it. Tell me.
Okay, let's do it on the move. Let's go.
I'll follow him if
You're still looking at this conversation and looking at the guy, and the guy immediately turns to where you are, looks at the hill, and sees you. So you are one of the many who came. Pity, you were useful to me on the Skinlands. Now you'll be just one more. Get her, boys. The people you have sacrificed recognize you. They start running for you. What do you do? Okay, so you start. You follow Timothy as he runs. Okay, and you?
I'm following Timothy.
You're following Timothy as he runs. There are people with chain links all over their body and pierced and stuff. Where are you going? Or what are you doing?
Let's go.
Yeah, they look like they know what they're doing. So I'm.
It's gonna be like basic hive mind. Let's all run in the direction of the guy who looks like.
I just don't want to be slowest.
Yeah. You're surprisingly fat for a man your size running here. And it's weird. Your feet do get like stomping on like sludge. But you move forward. You press on. And you hear Tim saying, we are outside the city. We need to go into the city and then up to the Shadowlands. That's where we can find shelter.
None of that means anything to me. How are we outside the city? We were in Baker Street tube station like a moment ago, and now how can we be outside of London?
There is an old car, a Mustang, 76. It's in perfect condition. He opens the door, jumps in the driver's seat, and say, "Get in, as many of you as you can."
Okay, I can see these guys are coming.
Yeah.
So I open the doors for them to get in.
Okay.
Making sure the kids in first.
You all get
I
in,
didn't know you were going to kill me.
and two other people get in.
Okay.
People who have started running because you started running. You don't know them; they're just there with you. And the guy just throws mud as he starts the car and drives the car away. And it is weird because you now see that the storm is coming much more clearer. You see nothing of the road but whatever the lights are showing, and not even that. And there is a mix of rain and ashes coming from the sky, and the piercing shriek coming from one side. It's unnerving. And that's when he turns and says, like, "I'm sorry, I'm not the best person to explain this, but you are all dead. And for some reason, you had something to cling on, and you did not make it through all the way.
What do you mean? Not through all the way to what?
To Oblivion. Or to the afterlife, or whatever."
Whatever it is, focus on the road. Focus on the road for the moment.
Don't worry, the car drives itself. So, and he just puts his hand and turns and says, "Look, it took me a while to understand it. I didn't want to live, and then I find out that I'm not dead. And then it turns out I'm really dead, but my existence carries on. That's why I sometimes echo. That's why sometimes I reappear in the place." Yes.
Did you did that on purpose?
No, I echo. It's a glitch.
You know it was the anniversary of your death yesterday.
I know. Probably that's why I glitched there. I echoed. I repeated. I mirrored. There are many ways. No one knows exactly why that happens with some wraiths. So you don't have a body.
I have one right here.
And your body does not feel like a body. You who are expert medical, you don't feel a pulse. You don't feel anything. And when he says your body is not your body, and you look, first instinct is look at your hands. You have the knowledge. Immediately, looking at your hands, you realize these are the hands of someone who is dead. And then you look around and you recognize that each and every person in this car is dead. And that weird moment in which you are looking at each other strangely, that's when he just says, "That is your death sight. You know it's true. I am dead because you saw me die. But I'm still dead. And so are you."
I reach for my phone in my pocket.
No phone.
Blake?
So I imagine that we are like scrunched into the back
Yes.
of the car.
And there is
right
someone
next to-
sitting in your legs, or you are sitting in someone's legs, or someone.
Yes.
You were dating my daughter?
This is happening in front of you while you're having your existential crisis in the front, Joseph.
I mean, I guess not. No.
Better I'm dead than hurt. Thank you for saving her. If we're allowed, I'm being kind of a bit dressed recording her behind my back. But apparently, as we're dead now, so that doesn't
Friends,
matter.
I think this is a little bit of a petty squabble to be having right now.
Let's keep this focusing on a little something that I can potentially comprehend at the moment, my lady.
Someone sitting with you in the bag of the additional people in this place starts shaking their head. No, it's not true. It's not true. Shut up. And the guy stops the car immediately. Gets out, opens the door, pulls them out. He's like, get a grip. Get a hold of it. Don't listen to it. It's too loud. I want it to stop. Don't listen to it.
Can I start singing?
Yes.
I will start
Charisma
singing.
plus perform singing.
I don't know what he can hear, but I'm
I
trying
want to counter.
distract
I want to
his
counter
own-
this by shouting, "He is a vestigial organ. Throw him out and let us keep going."
I have one success, which is two successes. So
That's just a one.
So-
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
You start singing to soothe him.
I just want to try and distract him from what we can hear. So we go.
And you see the person starts to come back. For a second their eyes are completely black and then normal. But that fraction of a second, and you see those black eyes, like bits of darkness. You see something dark and sinister. And Tim just looks at the person square in the eye. That voice, stay away from that voice. Never listen to what it says. That's your shadow. That is the part of your mind, the part of your soul that wants to destroy you. What you think is you is your psyche. And both of you are going to be struggling for the end of time. So no, never, ever, don't give it any power.
I want to see if I can hear a voice.
Hello, Blake.
Like, is this like in my head, or can I hear it through my ears? Air quotes.
What ears? I have answers. I know the truth about Oblivion. You are willingly opening up to your shadow, and the conversation starts. What do you want to know? What do you want?
So the land around us, does this look like are we driving on a road? Are there street
No.
lights? Are there?
It is a barren place of mud with a road.
Okay, but it's like a mud road. Okay.
And there is no lights in the horizon. Rain and ash keep on raining down. And you all hear the squeals, multiple, getting closer.
Have the other two got back in the car yet?
Yes, they're starting to go back into the car.
I will give them 10 seconds, and if
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
not here, I will jump into the driver's seat and start going.
Okay, so I'm just gonna think it. I'm not gonna say it.
Okay, well, whatever conversation you have, it's yours, it's private. It happens in your mind. No one will know what's going on.
Because I can hear those squeals.
Yes.
What?
Which the other person that jumped into the car with you is like, what is that? And he's like, the storm, the tempest I told you was coming.
Yeah.
Let's move. Gets in the car, starts driving.
I asked the voice what that is. Rarely.
Spectres.
Like me?
You're a wraith, Blake.
What's the difference?
What's it to you?
Well, that is what I am now.
Yeah,
So I should know what it is.
of course, but you, of all people, should know not all information comes for free. Everything comes at a price.
But aren't you me too?
Yes, but you're in control. Give me something, Blake.
Like what?
A memory.
Okay, I will choose.
No, he shows you the memories he wants.
Okay.
One of the ones are either of Melissa's first kiss, of your mother after you had, stitches when you fell from your skateboard and she was there taking care of you, of your dad. One simple memory, but a significant memory from that person. Not the most important though. A minor one, with the exception of Melissa's, which is your first kiss.
Okay. The one of the stitches and the mother.
And you feel it grow more comfortable in your mind. A wraith and a spectre are different. You can differentiate them by their driver. On a wraith, the psyche is at the helm. But for a spectre, it's the shadow who takes place of honor. So they are not you. They are what I would be. Should you allow it?
I don't think so.
It's not your call. Also, I could prove useful.
I will attempt to, in whatever way feels intuitive, to close off that
Conversation.
Yeah.
You just ignore it. I'll be waiting. I'm going nowhere. In the meantime, outside Blake's mind, in the car, the guy gets into a road, an actual road, a stone paved road, and drives at a speed that looks way off and gets to the gates of a major settlement. These gates look, well, you have seen historical things.
Yep.
These look medieval.
Does it look like somewhere like Aldgate, which would have been the medieval gates of London? Like that?
No.
Oh, it doesn't look anything I recognise.
No.
Okay.
This just looks out of place because it's steel and concrete and stone and wood.
Okay.
And it's a mess. Tim gets off of the car and starts screaming at the people at the gate. Let us in. Stronger and louder. Let us in. And the reply is the same. Storm's coming. Seek shelter.
Tim, if they're not letting us in, where else can we go? I don't know what that is. But
What time it was when you died?
well, I was on the. I'll give him whatever service I was on, whatever
Yeah,
time.
I was on the platform, so there was a car.
Yes.
So I'll try and recall
Intelligence?
what time that was.
Intelligence. Roll intelligence.
Yeah, I'll be.
Plus
I would have an idea of what. I probably have an idea of what time it was as well.
intelligence plus Yes, you too.
I was a bit preoccupied, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
know what time it was.
One success.
Fucking hell.
You know it was after 9, but not much longer.
Just go 9. I can't remember the exact time. Is it what significance does that have?
The Midnight Express. We can get the Midnight Express. We can go back to London. You see,
Where do we get that?
you're not in London.
I guess as much.
Then where the hell are we?
He said we were in the Deadlands.
Stygia. Does that ring a bell? Intelligence plus occult. Whomever has it.
What's it called?
No.
Can I,
No successes.
One.
Sounds Greek. You guess.
I use my law sheet powers.
Stygia. Derivation from the Styx, the river of the dead in Greek mythology. Stygia has been a code for a place of power that, as a conspiracy theorist, you had never understood. But now it makes sense. Whomever gave that information from Stygia, that day you were abducted. It was about this place. A realm so far removed, according to the legend, from humanity that the worst you could find would be there, but also a bastion of hope for those who would survive inside. Effectively, if there is an afterlife, where the world of the living is on one side and where you are now is on the other, they are further apart than most people think. You are in the deep Deadlands. You are so far removed from the living that you are closer to the final end of things. The Oblivion. So trying to get out of here is like kind of a sweet idea.
Okay. If what someone told me about Stygia is true, then that doesn't make sense. How do we get from here to London, which is in the world of the living?
We're not going all the way to the Skinlands, to the living world. We're going to the Shadowlands. It's a mirror reflection of the living world, right next to the Skinlands. It's where we can be now, and there is a citadel there that will shelter us from the coming storm. Storms come when things happen in the Skinlands that stir things up in Oblivion. The labyrinth, creatures, specters rise. The death of all that people in the Skinlands, it cannot just be one train derailment. It must have been something bigger. More people should have died.
There were figures.
Let's get going. We can discuss more on the way.
He starts walking you all the way. He just touches the car, and the car fuses with him. He just goes into him. And you see him replenish himself.
We can't take the car.
No, not where we're going. And he starts walking. The only thing that are left are the keys. He just has keys and puts it in his pocket.
Why do you have belongings?
Sorry?
You have keys.
Yes.
I don't have my phone.
This is a relic. I found it. Some items are just walk, and everybody's walking. Like, okay, some items bear great significance to people in general. Probably where this accident happened, there are tons of things that meant something thing for someone. They
Is
will.
it in my pocket? Do I have the square?
No.
Oh dear.
Some things are there. So maybe.
We can go back there and get.
Yeah, but the thing is navigate all the way there. So let's get into the Midnight Express, shall we?
Right.
You said you you can hang on to things that have meaning.
Yes.
Or what defines meaning in this context?
Well,
I mean, I had things on me that have meaning, and I don't have them anymore.
if they were destroyed, they will show up on the Shadowlands as relics. If they were not destroyed, like my pocket square when I died, they become a fetter, something that ties you to the mortal world, something that prevents your soul from being destroyed.
Wait. That's what kept you here.
One of the things, yes. That's how I knew something had happened, because I felt it.
Well, I kept that.
But it's not. No, actually, thanks for keeping it. It saved
kept you
me
here.
instead of undone. I have had 10 years to think about what I did, and it was stupid. It not only I have seen not only how it affected my family, but also how it affected you and the people who saw it. I've had 10 years to think about it, and that's why I went to look for you to ask for an apology. I'm so sorry, Joseph. You don't deserve what I did to you.
I can't think about this now. I need to think about where we're going. It's not a. This is not. I can't. This isn't. This is. It is too much.
Do you know how we died?
No, I don't know.
Is there a how? How we died? Is there something that might be?
We would need a proctor or someone from the guilds. Some people can read the signs on your corpus.
There was a fireball coming towards the train, and I stopped the train. And then the fire came through the window screen, and the train was rolled off the track. But then I don't remember anything after that.
I don't think it was the fire that killed you.
I was there as well. I was the first responder on scene.
You weren't on the platform when the train derailed.
No. I had the explosion, and I was there in less than a couple of minutes.
What about the rest of you? Were you on the train?
I think I was, actually. What's your name, sir?
Joe.
Oh, that's funny. You were to be the next sacrifice.
What?
Did you not hear me?
What?
You see, there's some very, very powerful beings out there that demand sacrifices. And it sounds like your name's next on the list.
Punch her in the face. Or try to.
It happens, and it has the personal satisfaction of it, but not much damage because you don't understand how it works.
Nope.
Yeah, it's your part ectoplasm, part emotions. In a realm that doesn't care about it. But yes,
Trying to do this till I wear myself out.
actually, what you punch her in the face, but Tim starts just laughing. It's like some powerful what? He stops walking for a second and he was like, whoo. Excuse. Who told you what? Oh my god. Oh, some powerful beings. Please tell me more.
Well, when I ritually sacrificed people, they were brought back from the dead.
What the hell is going on?
What's going on is that this woman here has been monumentally useful to someone who has been scamming her. What powerful beings. Have they told you a name?
No?
What have they told you?
They told me that my goal was going to be disrupted and they needed more.
And what was your goal?
My goal was to bring about the time of red.
Oh, now I get it. Listen, there are heretics out there. People who think or believe whatever they want to believe, and they are at odds with the people that were on those gates that we were not allowed in. Some of them are what we called puppet masters. I would call them puppeteers, but there's a guild called like that, and they don't like it. These assholes can inhabit a corpse.
Well, it sounds like I've had a few successes there.
Yeah.
My aim was to contact.
I have bad news for you. The time of red does not exist. That man that I ran away from, he's a harvester, a reaper. Probably one of those guys. Every time you sacrifice a soul, he's right there to come and collect it. And I would assume he's a soul forger. So those poor bastards that you kill are just what he gets as currency.
So that's where I would have ended up. Even more fucking meaningless than this.
Well, yeah, she's a glorified, how do you call it? Human trafficking or soul trafficking, unwilling recipient. There is only one prophecy, and it's actually a reality. Everything decays, including us. We just take longer.
Entropy.
Some call it like
You're
that.
saying entropy is the only thing that's real in life. The only thing that has meaning in this existence. That's what you're saying?
I don't believe it myself either, but I've seen it happen, okay? So if you want to stay entropy's hand, you will find your fetters and you will keep them close. So whatever it is that you're looking for in London, make it worth your while. And I don't care what you do, miss, but the rest of you, stay away from the guy in the mask. He is most definitely not friendly. And you are no use to him now. You used to be the one sending the bodies. Now you're just one. We're here. And you see an old platform. It looks like a dock. But then when you're standing, you see tracks. But just the tracks, not the intervening.
Is a train run on this?
The Midnight Express.
But there's no gauge.
No,
there's
what?
These are rails, they're not tracks.
Yeah. Look. I don't know. I just know that the Midnight Express shows at midnight everywhere. Anywhere. I don't understand how it works, but anywhere you are, when it's midnight local time, it'll appear. And then it will drive you to wherever you're going. And we're going to London. Also, don't get in trouble. We will be giving one car. Don't get out of the car if you don't want to die. We're going to be driving over the storm.
We're already dead. What have we possibly got to lose?
Whatever's left of your soul. Come in. There's a lot to talk. So when the Midnight Express arrives, it is a collection of the most varied train cars that you have ever seen in your lives. Of course, the first the first one is the locomotive. I don't know if you. Well, probably Joseph knows the old steamer that went down the precipice. Yes, but then all the cars are different, like circus cars and all.
Possible? You can't have a tube car or a circus car connected to a locomotive. It's a different gauge of engine. It doesn't run on the same tracks. This doesn't make any
because
sense.
you have the HMO and NO, like that type of
This is a
separation.
magnetic coupling, but this is a mechanical coupling, and then it's etc.
So Joseph is like completely taken aback by this. Timothy is going like, "Yep, I've only seen one train from underneath. Sorry."
I mean, this would blow people away. I mean, but it would change. It would revolutionize transport if you could.
In one of the small cars, you go in, and it's a small place. It has like 2 couches, so you can sit and relax. It says, trip is not going to be long, because we're probably like an hour off London. Okay, so let's have a short conversation. Just pepper me with questions, okay? If not, allow me to explain what I know.
What causes a person to end up here and not further on?
Okay. So during the short trip, he addresses a couple of important things. First, things that were important to people that were destroyed or lost will show up here. That's why the many train cars of the Midnight Express are here. They were at some point of deep importance and meaning to some people. Train cars, circus cars, tram cars, cars that have been in accidents or in terrorist attacks, and they go all over the news. People know the names, know the numbers. But also the keys to his Mustang and the Mustang itself. And there are many other things like that. Those are called relics. And they are an analogy to what happens to a human being that dies. If your soul or psyche or whatever you want to call it, I'm not judging, has something, anything of importance, and it's willing to plow through, it'll stay here. It'll not go all the way. No one knows exactly why. Not everybody who dies becomes a wraith. Actually, we are a minority of the people who die. Just a few. Some would say unlucky few. I would say that I was lucky. I didn't want to live, and the moment I died, I realized that I didn't want to do anything but live.
But there's no route back.
No, but I have tried to help others, and I have been trying to learn Arkanoi. So we are in a different realm. So laws work differently here. And I'm not talking about the letter of the law by the police. I'm talking about
physics.
Everything. Yes. Some people know how to molliate a soul and change it. They can change the way they look, but others can forge souls. That's what this harvester does. He forges souls. This, and he shows a coin. It's an obolus. It's the currency of the dead.
You're kidding, right?
It is exactly
In Greek legend.
one soul. This used to be someone's soul. And they committed a crime so heinous that they were turned into a coin. And now we use it to pay for stuff here in the land of the dead. So this guy, you're making him rich. And you're getting nothing out of it. And you will get nothing out of it.
I never expected anything.
I would love to say that you're an idiot. but I wouldn't expect you to understand it.
I've been proved right by all of this.
You would fit right in with the heretics for about 5 minutes.
So what do you do now?
Okay. First things first. Stygia and other necropolis, cities of the dead, have rules. One of the rules, and I expect you to follow it as best as you can. No contact with the living themselves. We can live in the Shadowlands, in the reflection, but that contact with the living should not go well.
Why not?
It is forbidden.
Why?
Why is
I have no idea, but the people who enforce that are stronger and a lot more. There is
What about
something. Sorry?
What about animals?
There is something that will give you a little bit of solace, hopefully. Even though you're not allowed to directly interact with the skinlands. That's why you sometimes hear the story of a DC, barely visible ghost, but it's not common. One thing we can do is interact with our fetters. If someone is remembering you, that gives you power to remain here. That staves away entropy.
What if they're not remembering you? What if no one is remembering you?
Those wraiths have to find a different way to stave off Oblivion. Also, if you had anything that held personal significance or embodies something like a legacy. So you were, for a while, one of my fetters. And the pocket, the square. You were remembering me. You were keeping my square.
Is that how are you able to find us?
So you better find your fetters. And also, do not listen to the voice in your heads. Please.
How do we find our fetters?
I can show you all the way up to London. But then I have to go back.
Back where? Where we came from?
No, I have to go back to my place in the necropolis.
Oh.
It's not like I have to go back home. I have to go back seek shelter. Throughout history, a lot of wraiths have lost this argument against their shadow. That second voice in your head. How many of all the people who have died do you think have lost that battle throughout the history of humankind?
Many.
Remember those screeches? Those are them looking for you. Or anybody.
What happens if they find us?
Some of them will empower your shadow. Others will drag you to oblivion. You never know. Depends.
We don't want to go to Oblivion? I thought that's what you said we would have gone if we hadn't got stuck here.
No, that's where we are going. The afterlife, whatever that is what you would have gone. Like some people think that there is a heaven and a hell and we're just stuck here. Others think that this is purgatory. Others think that Oblivion is the final destination.
What is that? I mean, beyond the literal.
I have no idea. There are no manuals for this, yo.
So, but then, why is it such a bad thing? Why not just let them do that and then we're gone where we should have gone?
Because that's the end. It is
If that's where we're heading anyway.
the definitive end.
How do you know that?
You just said you don't know what it is.
You will feel it. The first time your shadow and its angst gets a hold of you, you will feel in your core yourself being undone and the true meaning of oblivion. And you will also fear death again. It's not a matter of if, it's when it
So why not
happens.
skip to the end then? What do I get from
Don't
here?
think like that, please. That's what started me on the path. And look at me. Look at where I ended. Yo, you're a lot stronger than that. And even though you do not want to think about that, you're a good man. You are a good and decent man. All you need to do now is to find a new reason to remain. Maybe doing something with the Midnight Express. Maybe in London. I mean, who knows if the train you were driving exploded? Maybe it became a relic. I don't know.
To find these fetters, whatever they are.
Just remember,
I'll do my best.
permanent solution for a temporary problem.
It's not temporary, you said this is for good.
Yeah, but how you're feeling is temporary.
Yes.
Never apply a permanent solution to a temporary emotion. It's fleeting, it'll go away, it'll pass. It took me a decade and all of your suffering to understand it. I'm sorry.
You're right.
Are we able to really view the living?
Yes, and just like you can see the dead and have the death side, you'll have the life side. And you can see how healthy a human being is and how they are doing and their state of mind and their mood. You will see them on the other side of what we call the shroud. It'll be as if looking them through a very smoky mirror, but you will be able to see whomever you care about and see how they're doing in their emotional state. It's a big temptation. Do not try and engage contact.
I need to see them. I need to see my family.
Okay.
To know they're safe.
Okay.
I need to know that.
You feel the train come to a stop. And the doors open and it's London. You hop off. The platform is immense. The train, at some point you saw the beginning of the train come in, but you couldn't see the end on either way. It defies logic in many levels. And you are purposefully in a small platform in which from your car and the adjacent car, only you lot and a few other people walk around. And this is where you start seeing weird stuff. Like a man on a toga and a centurion helm. A man wearing the colors of the Great War. And it starts giving you a perspective into some wraiths having been here for decades, others centuries. And somehow they remain. Joseph tells you, try to find the place where you died. That's the best place you can go. And after that, if you hear a siren, run. Start looking for shelter of any kind. I need to leave.
Thank you.
He gives you the coin.
I'll take it from him.
Don't spend it.
Understood.
Just think of me if you really need me. And he goes. Basically, this has been Tim having a conversation with you and the only guy who knows anything, and you are just tag-alongs. But now that Tim has left, that sort of gravitas that was around him and Joseph has disappeared, and then it's just the lot of you. With the other two people going like, I'm going home. Like, no, didn't you hear him? Let's go to the train station. No, I know where my feathers are, whatever they are. And then he starts walking.
Well, I think we should head to that train station, don't you? You're going to find what you're looking for there. Considering that's where you are perished. I know I did. So that's where I'm going. You are welcome to follow me if you wish. And I'm going there.
Yeah, you start. The thing is that you don't know where there is, and it's when it's a reflect. When I say London, it's a reflection, like the necropolis, the London necropolis is a reflection of London. It is in the sense of, you know, that street you knew that has this building on one side and the row of houses in the other side. Well, actually, it's not a street here, because in the middle of it is a keep. A keep that probably existed in the year 1100 and it was destroyed. It came here. And then the architecture of the place. Sort of relic building on top of relic building. It creates a veritable maze. The remains of the King's Cross station when it was first built before it was reconstructed. That is here.
If we can see King's Cross Station, can I try to navigate us to Baker Street? Because there's like 4 stops.
Okay, you're going to have to give me a intelligence plus streetwise roll to see if you can know something, unless you have like history or stuff.
I've got academics.
You have academics?
Yeah.
Okay, then intelligence plus academics, please.
2.
2 successes, but your academics is sort of relevant. You will see, from the old stations, the stories that you have heard, like the entrances that used to be there that have been taken off, removed, and then or blocked up, and then you have an office building. You see one that you recognize from pictures, of course.
Yep.
So, but everything that's here has been destroyed.
I say this to everybody else. I say this is whatever tube station entrance used to be, like it was shut in like 1917 or
Intelligence plus awareness, everybody, please. Sorry, wits plus awareness, everybody.
2 successes.
1.
Okay.
2.
Shite. Oh no, that's 4. That's
Oh
critical
no,
win.
that's 4. Sorry, yeah.
You hear the clanking of chains. Sort of a fast-paced.
I alert other people to this,
but
but I want to head in the opposite direction to whatever the hell that is.
Ideally, if that's the way that Joseph.
But you're what? You're running or you're walking?
Well, I don't know how close do I estimate this is? Like near.
Well, it's approaching fastly.
Okay, yeah, then I'm running. Yeah.
Running.
You're running towards or again or away.
Away.
Okay, you're running away, and you are.
Finding, so whatever direction it's coming in,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to be hidden near it, but I want to see what it is.
Oh no! If you turn around and wait, like count 1 meter CP, 2 meters CP, 3 meter. Oh shit! It's the same guy, following us with even more people now.
Oh, it's that guy.
Yeah, the chains are
Okay.
Not chains, are the chain links that are all over the bodies of these people.
Alright, let's get out
That are
of
with
there
them.
then.
Okay. Run. So, I want all of you to make me a willpower roll, a composure plus resolve roll.
1.
3 successes.
4 successes.
Nice. So, you go into the station,
Yes.
and the stress of being chased kicks something in you. This sort of awareness. You kind of are very aware. You know where things are in relation to yourself. You don't know where they lead you, but you know that this station could lead to an old underground tunnel that was done. And now you have that understanding. It's not, I'm not going to navigate this with my knowledge of the living. I'm going to navigate this with my knowledge of what was. So if I go down there, there's going to be an old closed line that was already done. That line must exist somewhere, and that can take me a couple of stations, as you said, and in the similar direction. You have that idea in your mind. What you feel is like, well, you want to go to this place where the relics are or whatever are, or what you feel is that your vision becomes a little blurry at some point. And then it's like when you see through a mesh, but then the mesh gets stretched and it stops being blurry. It blocks your vision actively, but then it no longer blocks it. And all the strands are visible distinctly from one another. So it stopped being this gauze. And like as a wool being pulled from your eyes, you start seeing these threads everywhere. And one of those threads goes from your hand in a direction, roughly in the same direction the train conductor Joseph was running. But this one is not a gray, lifeless strand. This one is pink. There is a strand of pink.
I will follow it wherever it goes.
So I will ask for in your case, it's going to be a resolve plus 3 dice. As you will have awakened the life web arcanoi. And in your case, is going to be intelligence plus 3 dice from the arcanoi of Argos.
2 successes.
Okay, these are what this guy mentioned.
I'm guessing there's no way to willpower air quotes this or.
You can willpower it. You can use 1 point of willpower.
Absolutely.
Okay.
4 successes.
Very well. Okay, so you know exactly what it is, and you guide him. So you are going roughly in the direction of the station, but he's telling you where the station is located.
The real station.
He's saying, where we died is in this direction. You go like, yeah, but if we want to go there, we will have to circumnavigate using this route.
Okay.
The two of you, I would like for you to make me, well, the equivalent of stamina plus athletics rolls. Oh, damn.
Nada.
So you're starting to lag behind. They seem to know where they're going. You are a little bit lost, and some things are shifting, and it's a little bit uncomfortable. Okay. Now this is the part in which stress is getting the better of you, and I am going to be a little bit of a dick.
Here we go.
Love it.
No longer you will roll pools of only black dice. You will include the equivalent of the hunger die mechanic. This is a totally invented thing by Carlos. Your shadow is fueled by angst. Your angst.
I love that.
And you have a lot of that. So at least we will represent it with angst 1. And if that die gives you a bestial, the equivalent of a bestial failure or a massive critical, your shadow comes to the fore. Not takes over, your shadow comes for bargaining. To take something off of you. You start with 2 angst. You call it to you.
Thank you.
And it has given you access to your... You also start with 2 angst because of the conversation with Tim. But that has awakened this spontaneously knowing of these life strands, knowing of places. So you're dealing with your shadow might be dangerous, but it can be profitable, if anything. And that is something you both hear from your shadows. You're being left behind. Accept my help, and I'll let you outpace those damn slavers. And what you hear is, go back to them. Go back. They will give you the time of red. Allow him to undo you.
I want to find my knife first.
So, you are sort of running all the way until you go out in the street and have to run a couple of streets. Joseph guiding this kid, the kid's telling you this direction. And when you see from the strand on your hand, this pink strand that is very bright and lively, and is the only thing with fucking color in this gray nothingness, it's going there to what looks like to be some sheets of metal. And you move them away, and underneath, it's your skateboard. And you pick it up. And you feel that you can manipulate it. You see the skateboard he picks. And it has a dragon drawn underneath. And you have seen your daughter's drawings. She draws she has drawn things for daddy since she was a kid. And he removes with a key.
That's exactly what I was gonna.
Okay, so you're gonna do it? Okay, so as he removes to make sure that his skateboard, one of the trucks with the wheels, underneath are 2 pink hearts with arrows. It says Blake and Melissa.
Oh.
Just puts it back in, and it feels real, and it feels good to have it. But there's more. You feel that there are other strands, and maybe not coming just from you. So you can try and power your Arcanoi. But you have use, like a battery, and you know it will drain you. So the more you use your powers, the more you will be drained. Right now, you feel you can sort of do it.
I'll do it.
Okay. It'll be a resolve plus life web.
Okay, was that the extra 3?
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm replacing 2 of them with...
Angst.
Yeah, cool. Three successes, and there is a skull.
Ooh, okay. With your successes, you have enough to feel... It's not... You do feel the shadow steering in the back, but not coming to the fore. You do feel that there is immediately a white, bright, very pure white string going out from your chest. There's another one. There's a blue one. And you instinctively know those are Melissa and your mother. Immediately. The 2 people that will be remembering you the most. You also see in the same direction that your blue lifeline goes, for him it's deep red. Goes in the
Okay.
same direction.
Yeah.
Also to Melissa.
Mhm.
In a purple one. And a green one. And he has more. Like some of them coming from his heart, one of them coming from his eyes. Her has one coming out from her guts. It's black. And he's 10 meters away from you. And hers is a very pale blue on a corner. And one that is orangey, fading into the distance. And you can see the strands momentarily. So you can help them. You would recognize which ones are relics, which ones would be people who are remembering them.
Okay.
So what do you do?
Well, I would point you in the direction of your awful black line.
Not the opposite way.
I would tell you, Stuart,
Yeah.
about which way Melissa is.
She's safe. Like what you can tell from that line is that she's still alive.
Yeah, and,
So she's safe.
and his family. She's
yeah.
okay. And I will look at Joseph and I'll say, are both of the, because you said I know which ones are people that are remembering and which ones.
One, the one that is orange is a person.
Okay.
You have no idea what
Yeah,
that is.
yeah. I will say to Joseph, there is someone thinking about you.
Oh,
I can see it.
you can.
Yeah. Don't you?
See what?
Try and feel it.
Try to do what he says.
When you do that, you feel space-time, even though there is no time and this is not a space.
I don't know who they are, but they're orange and they're that way. And I'll point Joseph.
What survives... Well, sorry, what was destroyed but is a relic. Well, the black line you see when she moves stuff, it's like a purse or something that was burned. What was destroyed was the phylactery. So there's a relic of it. And your dagger survived. So that becomes a physical relic. Sorry, a physical fetter. Eventually it will find its way to the hands of somebody. But that lives in the skin lens. And you have an attachment there. Oh yeah, you see also one single red strand going from her mind. That the moment it leaves, it breaks into tiny strands. Over 50. Disseminated. She has a lot of people thinking about her. Like a lot. Like a disgusting number of people who are going to be doing rituals in her name because she is completely fucked up. But then again, the chains are in the background.
No, we should go.
Yeah.
We should go.
Thank you. Like,
And yes, you have the square.
I have the square. Okay, good. I will put that away in my pocket.
From the station, from the debris.
You said I had you said I had a weird feeling about space and time.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think I might be able to use that to shift us to another place?
Not on your own.
Okay.
But if you had,
it's a possibility.
but if you had something to move you with, so
Oh, that's what I'm looking for as we're running there.
out of the debris, the figure with the mask shows up and starts coming for all of you. They're like, don't run. There's nowhere to run. I've made sure of that. And as you look, you're inside this crater that is actually the old station. You are surrounded by your sacrifices. Over the course of the last 5 years, you have killed many people, but also other cells of your cult. And all of them have been given to this guy.
Who are all these people?
They're the lucky ones.
What do you mean?
You serial killing bitch.
Now, come. Don't make me look for you. Come be part of the flock.
Go.
Run. I'm running away.
But by the way, there's
There's nowhere to run.
you can try your spirit in a way or whatever.
Well, if I think there's nowhere for us to run, then that's my last hope. But I don't want to leave these guys here.
Okay.
I don't care about her. I definitely care about these.
Okay, so it will be resolve plus Argos, which is 3 dice because of your art. You can willpower if you want to.
Yep. What was that, 6?
6 successes. 9. Nice. Do you have any of those successes in your red dice?
2.
Phil, could you please roll composure plus insight?
Composure plus insight. So that would be. 2.
Enough. Your shadow starts talking to you.
Okay.
Where do you want me to take them? I can take them anywhere. Your power, my guidance, we take them wherever. Want my help? You hear that conversation.
Don't listen to us. Don't listen to it. Don't listen to it.
I can't move us without the help.
You know the voice is lying.
It's lying to you. It's lying to you. The power.
Only with my help you can leave.
The power is within you. You have the power. The power is yours. It does not control you. You control it.
No, it does not.
The power is yours. It's yours. It's yours.
Willpower, willpower roll, please, from you. You feel your shadow lash out at him. Okay, you get 2 willpower, 4 superficial willpower damage, half to 2. Okay?
I shout.
As the shadow lashes at you and your mind screams, but you know you can punish this shadow. You can subdue it. You can castigate it as your Arcanoi. Of course, you will increase your angst by 1 if you choose so, but you will awaken the castigation. You will repress Joseph's shadow. Well, she summons her power.
I will do it.
Okay. Castigation is charisma plus 3 dice.
So what's the roll I need to make?
Charisma plus castigate, and you have 3 dice. I'm giving them everybody Argos at Arcanoi at 3 because I'm nice like that. Also because they rolled as average mortals, so they have their stats are crap. Willpower, and you, yes.
That's my last willpower.
Last willpower, so you incapacitate yourself.
Yes. Fuck it. It'll be worth. Son of a bitch. 3.
3 successes is enough to keep the shadow at bay. And your 6 successes.
Yes.
One of the things I really liked about the descriptions of the Book of Wraith is that if you have enough successes, if you have something important, if you have something that is heartfelt and meaningful for your characters, sometimes the Shadowlands react. But in this case, it's not the Shadowlands that react, it's the Skinlands. As news of Train 78 hit every media outlet of the destruction of that train, the first wagon, the conductor's car of the train, shows up in the tracks of the station. As people in the Skinlands realize that this is something they have lost to an attack, it materializes at your side. Now you will have one opportunity to make a run for it. Failure equals oblivion. Or actually, not oblivion. Servitude. Indented servitude to this heretic. And I see people getting ready. Tell me how you plan to weave and wave and escape.
My plan is to jump on the train and start it up while I wait for them to get on. And
Okay.
I'm following the only way I see it.
Okay, you're gonna roll intelligence plus technology. It'll be your knowledge of this train that you just drove.
Yep.
In your case, is going to be sadly a stamina plus athletics roll. You're impaired mentally but not physically, so you're.
Nope. I'm still only one. Nice though.
What is one die, and it's an angst die. In your case, it would be dexterity plus athletics. You can use your specialty of your skateboard. You will find that it's a relic, so it can roll very well over debris.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk forcefully, knowing that I am destined to rule over these people, not be ruled by them.
To this guy, or you're going to walk to the train. Okay.
Kind of trying to give off the aura of I'm better than you. Don't fucking touch me.
Okay. I can make them follow you. Do you want them to be their leader?
I just want them to leave me alone until I can get the power I need.
I can do that too.
What's my cost? What's the price? There's always a price.
Yes, there is. I get to rule 1 day out of 8. You rule the other 7.
Oh, you have yourself a deal.
This is disgusting. You have your rolls. In your case, is going to be manipulation plus 3 dice.
Oh shit. I spend some willpower.
Oh, I don't have any.
Can I spend willpower?
Yes, you can.
I can't reroll the red ones.
You cannot reroll the angst because it's the shadow and it refuses any rerolls.
Oh well, never mind.
Well,
So I have 1 success.
okay.
I got nada.
You got nada.
I have 4 successes.
4 successes, no crits.
4 successes?
Okay. And now, let's add to yours your shadow's thorn, which should be only red dice, to be fair.
I'm dead.
I feel the same.
Oh.
As she walks, you all sort of try and make it. You are sort of groveling. Do you help him or you leave him to his fate? Okay. As you walk around, actually, the guy that has been wearing the mask, the Lord of Red, takes a step back as he forcefully has to regain control of all the subjects that you have provided him. but they are yours, you too. And you know on a deeper level that the shadow, your shadow, just went and touched the souls of each and every one of them in the right place where there is a connection to you, their killer. And that jarred them enough to buy Phil a single extra turn. But for you, you just walk at a leisurely pace.
As I'm walking, just kind of talking to my shadow. Oh, you and I are gonna get along so well.
Absolutely. You also feel the disgusting rot of Oblivion trailing at the end of your shadow. And you know, for the first time perhaps, that Oblivion is real. Stuart, you have one last try to get to safety. You are inside the train. What do you do?
I will wait for now to see what is happening.
Okay.
Same roll.
It will be a yes. In your case, it's the same roll. You are exhausted. You have used part of your energy, and also you are broken, and you can see it. His life form. Sorry, his shadow form, his death form, his corpus. Is very translucent. And he fails to make it. The rest are coming very fast. This man has taken back control of all these and are throwing them, running towards you. Some of them start and jump on your train, and some of them jump on you.
Or I would have.
Have I made it onto the train?
You are in the train, and so are you. You had your action. You were just waiting to see. You will see them running, approaching to get Stuart.
Okay. Is there any way that I can help?
Yeah,
With that.
me too. Either one of us.
Well, you are distracted trying to get away.
Yeah.
Yes, you can try to pull them in. Or you can give me every memory you have of Melissa, and I save him.
I'm not doing that.
So you can try, you pull him in and put yourself at risk, and you will need at least 3 successes in a strength plus athletics roll. And your skateboarding specialty does not count.
What if I use the skateboard to reach out so they can grab onto it?
That's great because you have a tool. So I'll give you 1 die for the tool. As if you had like rope as well. But it will be a strength plus athletics. I would say that Phil helps, but he's completely impaired and incapacitated.
I'll try.
I gave you the way out. Just save my ass.
Willpower?
You can do it. You could do it.
If I get a success on both of these. Oh! 2 successes.
And it's heartbreaking. As you pull the skateboard, Stuart tries to reach it and holds on to it for a second. And as the train starts moving and you try to pull him away with you, these figures jump on him and hold him. And his grip on the wheel goes. And just the wheel spinning as you keep it in your hand.
Keep him safe!
The train vanishes. And it shows up in other tracks in another place. You don't know where it is. For a moment, until you realize you're in Holborn Station. Where it all began. And as a figure approaches Stuart, he grabs 1 oboli, 1 coin. And you see him shape this coin in the form of a chain link. And grabs your lips and say, now, let's stop talking. And that's where we're gonna end it. Thank you. Thank you for running a little bit late. I was you.
I'm starting to run out of fingers on my carrots.
But you have not died. If this were a chronicle, the next session would be the rescue of Stuart, or something like that. Also, Amis. Thank you very much for joining us tonight for this special Shadows of London, A World of Darkness Chronicle one-shot. Based on my interpretation of Wraith the Oblivion. If you like what you see, let us know in the comments. We're always looking for fun stuff to do. I have my own ideas of how Wraith 5th edition should be run. All of them probably very wrong, but they're fun for me. Thank you very much to my players, Bex, Phil, Lane, and our guest, Mitch, and especially his hair. And a big round of applause for our tech ghoul of the night, Peter. This should be Peter Appreciation Day because he's the tech ghoul.
I have not stressing my way through 20 Java Kings throughout this entire one.
Join us next week for episode 6 of Blood on the Tamises, in which Peter will be back here in the storyteller's chair, and I would be sitting over there wearing a suit and looking amazing with this mustache. Follow me in MoPro in November at the link that he's going to put there, Carlos Alonso, for those you're looking, and we will see you next week. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
We'll see you next time.